He's right there, but he's there. He's coexisting. Okay, I'm gonna open up the editor. All right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is good to see you as always. I'm glad to be here. I've made some fixes that hopefully you guys are going to enjoy, such as merging the vertical and horizontal chat into one, I should say. As of right now, I believe that everybody who's asked if they're in the forum is indeed in the forum. So that is good to see. I've done some resolutions there as well. Any questions, just let me know there, but it should be good. Anyways, globed the globed code, I am going to go ahead and quick change for you guys. Perfect. That should be good now, so you guys can go ahead and join up. And yeah, once again, everybody is correctly going in and the form submissions are working. So with that, first up, we have Daxor with Daydreams. This is going to be 1 minute and 14 seconds long, 91 downloads. Let's take a look. First of all, we got the old Disney font. Very nice. I mean, I think overall for me, the background does feel just a little bit flat. Adding a bit more depth and some more parallax there. So having a second layer would be great. I do like the fact, though, that there's an offset for locking the player. That's good. Good 9 circle effect. That's actually pretty good. I wish that the glow bar was on blending, because it does feel like a bit of a sore thumb in terms of sticking out, but not too bad overall. Apparently my voice is very low. Is that correct? Is my voice low? But yeah, I think the main criticism I have for this part in general is the glow bars. They could definitely have some blending going on. It's a classic 9 circles level in all ways, shapes, and forms, but it's not too bad. Could just be a bit more complex, I feel like. Once again, the globe code should be there for you guys to join in on. This part's nice, though. This one has a lot more depth going on, especially with the designs. I think the movements could be a bit smoother, but they're not terrible. And the 3D lines don't point to a specific place. Either they should be pointing down or pointing up in one way. Good use of saws, though. Yeah, I think overall it's definitely a good start. There's a lot of good things going on. Good general complexity, I feel like. Where it does lose out is definitely the background. It feels very, I don't want to use the word one-dimensional, but it does feel very flat. And yeah, I think that growing in there could definitely make the level feel, in all extents, complete. As is, it's probably very close to a star rate. I would probably just shoot it slightly underneath that, but 100% a great start, and I'm very excited to see, what Daxor comes up with next. And hopefully, this time his levels will actually submit to the forum. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, hopefully that'll get hashed out. Next on tap, we got Lemedy by Control de TV 101. 0 likes. It was uploaded 6 hours ago. Let's take a look. Immediately reminds me of, once again, the world style. I know that I use Nakam as a, kind of, the word I'm looking for is inspiration. I use Nakam to say that a level is inspired from it a lot, but it's a very, very, very signature style that RobTop obviously came up with at some point, and people use it a lot. That's a bit of a blind jump for me. I'm not sure there. I wish that there was a bit more indication of where I'm supposed to click, because to me it looks like I'm about to fall off the map, but I guess I'm supposed to click later. Once again, you guys can join in the globe code and hang out with me in chat. Not in chat, but you can play the same level as me. In general, it plays pretty nice, which is very nice, obviously. Not sure about here. Adding some glow or something to indicate, oh yeah, he's supposed to jump would be nice. Again, just a little bit of glow there. That would be a super easy fix, and it would be really helpful. Can I request a level? Yeah, just make sure that you're submitting via the form. That's how we request levels around here. Okay, a few 4 spike jumps. Wish there's a bit more variation going on there. Maybe adding some more spikes and air decoration could be good. There's not a lot of saws going on, which is kind of characteristic for the style, but it could be inventive to add a few new things there. And because the style has been done several times, I think that going ahead and building off of it could be good. As is, the globe code, once again, is 752258 if anybody would like to join. Yeah. Okay, next up, we have Destruction 2 by Waters35678. This one's got 205 downloads and 12 likes, which is actually pretty significant, so I'm excited to see what happens here. Immediately when I see this, okay, there's a gradient trigger, but also the contrast does feel just slightly harsh to me. You've got some strong colors that are very saturated in the block designs, and the background is very light. Not sure about the camera zoom out there. That's a bit janky to me. It feels a little bit cheap in a level that otherwise has, premium gradients in the background. Okay, so I go back. Ooh, so that spawns very quickly. Having like an outline or something just to let the player know, oh yeah, he's gonna bounce here is gonna be good. Again, having an outline just to show exactly what I'm going to be facing on the next part of the level would be good. Okay, so maybe carrying through that lyrics a little bit easier would have been good. Okay, that ball is a little bit harsh. The level overall feels just slightly underbalanced, but I like some of these block design ideas. Just wish that they carried through a full part, right? Okay, and then it ends right there. I think that means it would probably be an unfinished level, but it does feel finished in many ways, so I think it's fine. If I had to pick one thing to improve here, it would be coherence, right? You have a block design that's gray, and it has a bunch of kind of hatched lines to it to add some depth. And then you have another part that has black or orange and red block designs. And what that does for a player is it doesn't let them think of a specific theme and it doesn't add a bunch of coherence. So improving that could be great. I got to make sure that the globed code is a follower room. Okay, next up, we have SOT playtests. And once again, unfortunately, I'm not taking playtest requests today. I'll be taking playtest requests on the first Saturday of every single month. So next one will be in early September. Make sure to submit then, but as of today, no playtest previews or other unfinished levels. Next up, we got Caramel by Spooky Potato. Now, I'm not sure why it says 13 seconds, but it says medium, so I'm going to take a quick look. Yeah, it's 51 seconds long. Okay. A little bit of a glitch, but let's play it through. Looks like a layout to me. Okay, it's because there's a start position. And unfortunately, because it is a start position, I will have to skip it, just in attempts to keep everything fair. Next up, Coin Toss by xLenoo. Let's take a look. So immediately, very nice, soft, modern. There's a little bit of like translucent black going on just to add like a little captioning feel to it. Very nice. And the block designs are very smooth. It eases well, all that good stuff. There's a nice like paw print in the background, just adds a little bit of depth. Very much a fan of that. This part's a little bit fast, and I do lose a bit of visibility, but it's not too bad yet. Not sure about a vertical wave. Vertical wave is going to be very contested in a lot of ways, and in a level that's this easy, it's pretty good to have agreeable gameplay. The transition's nice, though. Again, losing just a little bit of visibility here with the effects, especially that like pinch in of the ground. That's a little bit tricky for me to read. A lot of these, though, are in general nitpicks. It plays pretty well overall. Okay. And then we got a nice click here. The gameplay is very dynamic, which is very fun to play, but it does lose just a little bit in terms of readability. I like the idea of a dashboard for the yay, though. That's cool. And then a little end screen of a coin. Yeah, so just a few comments on it. Overall, it's actually really enjoyable. I quite like how it is. But I do think that it lacks just a little bit of readability. Yeah, so just talking about what I said here, the visuals are very nice. Let's just get that very clear. There is a little bit of weakness in terms of visibility, as I said, but in general, the level plays pretty well. You can kind of infer what's going to be happening next in terms of inputs just based off the song sync, but having a bit more clarity would be good. Oh, of course, I need to say that this would be a feature-worthy level, because it is. It's very nice. Next up, we have Dancing Caravan by Dead Ideas 2. 30-second long level, but it does clear the bar for medium. So first of all, this is a personal thing, but having start positions still remaining in the level is a little bit tricky to justify. Trimming those could be good, because for somebody who does have a start position switcher on, it's a little bit janky. This does play pretty mildly in general. Like, it's obviously a tricky input level, but it does play pretty nicely overall. That's just an error on my part. Some nice jump indicators, too. We're going to have to see if the level is any longer than 30 seconds. If the level's 30 seconds long, it's so hard to justify getting rated. But, yeah. If it's any longer, I feel like this could 100% be rate-worthy. This part's cool. It's kind of got like an ombre feel to it. I like the particles going on as well. It doesn't read as really object-heavy either, which is very nice. Not sure what we got going on here with these orbs. The orbs are a little bit trippy. Good, good, good. Straight fly. And then we're up over. That's the thing. You can have straight fly in a level. It just has to be kind of minimized and not over the top, right? It is a very short level. Let me be very clear. It's an extremely short level, and it's so hard to get 30-second levels rated. It really is. But what is going on here is really cool. There's gradient backgrounds. You've got a nice block design. There's movement. It feels fluid. It feels fun to play. If you extend the level to 45 seconds even, if you went for a minute, it would 100% be feature worthy. But 45 seconds even, and I think it could 100% get a star rate or even a feature. Okay, this one doesn't have a level ID. It says not out yet, so it will be rejected. Atheron. Next up, we got Onset coming soon. I don't know if that's supposed to be indicative that it's a beta test level, but I'll take a quick look in the editor, just in the name of fairness. It does look in a finished state, so we'll play it through. Almost impossible. Huh. I mean, okay. I'll play a tiny bit of it and just, yeah. There's a video clip for it, no. Yeah, unfortunately, levels have to have an ID. The form explicitly states that all fields have to be filled. Otherwise, it would be really unfair to the people who had just showcases. I mean, so far it's not difficult. I don't know. Reads like a 9-star, maybe. Not sure if there's like a second part that's harder or what, but it is pretty easy in general. Okay, we got a little bit of a... Okay, this is where it spikes up. So when you look at... I'm just going to use Grief as an example because everybody knows about Grief, right? When you look at Grief, the level's different in different ways. The beginning is... Or the middle part's hard because it's fast. And it's just timing, you know what I mean? Like, it's all thrown at you. But at the beginning of the level, very interestingly, it's almost all timing. It's slow. It matches the song. And this right here, this part, spikes so ridiculously high that a player spends 43% of the level thinking that it's going to be a 9-star. Like I explicitly said, it's going to be a 9-star level. And it's really challenging to justify making such a difficult spike. You know, you have levels like Denouement and stuff like that, but otherwise it's very challenging. Dropped up sometimes rates short levels, though. Yeah, I know, but for a general rule, they're supposed to be 30 seconds long. So in order to give the best feedback possible, that's what I do. Okay, next up we got from Jewy V. Chapter 2, Work in Progress Final. Okay, so it is probably as is, so I won't be giving feedback in a playtester's mind. I'm going to be giving it as a finished level. Okay, so this looks like a build-up. This looks like the song is slow. Oh, but it is an XL level, so I am going to have to go ahead and skip that one as well. So, as it is right now, I don't have any requests sitting in the queue. I'm not sure if I just went through all of them or something like that. But it looks like I have actually gotten through all of them. Yeah, I'm done with all the levels as is. So what I'm going to do just for now is actually just reset the form, which means that you guys can go ahead and resubmit the level or whatever level you want to. So form reset incoming, and you guys should be good to resubmit. While we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just play some of the recently rated levels. Let's do GD Forever. I think this is for GD 13, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Just a reminder for everybody, I will not be taking levels that are requested in chat. This one's very cool. I want to make that, I want to point that out. The contrast between the background is just a little bit weak. Having a lighter background would be a fantastic next step here. Pinata's nice, though. The cube reads is a little bit lower definition for some reason I can't explain. I don't know if that's because I have high def graphics on or what, but the rest of the level reads very soft and the cube is harsh, so smoothing out the edges there could be good. Okay, I kind of wish that was a click, if I'm being honest. That's nice, though, that little duel. Sometimes asymmetric duels aren't the way to go, and, you know, I'm a huge fan of asymmetric duels, but once in a while on these easier levels where it's already kind of challenging to read, having an asymmetric duel throws you for a loop. Okay, so those are pink pads. I thought I was supposed to click late, honestly, so I don't know if that's just a me thing or what, but I did think that I was supposed to click late there. And the gameplay switches, or the game modes shift very fast for the difficulty of the level. That part reads a bit more like a demon than I would like. And I think that's part of the reason why I got featured, right? First of all, the contrast and the colors don't blend quite right. But secondly, and most importantly, it's really challenging to read the gameplay. So yeah, GD forever, and that it did get featured. I think it's a very good level overall, but it could have a bit better contrast, as I said, and the gameplay is slightly tricky to read. We do have some requests rolling in at this point, which is awesome. So let's take a glance. Okay, first up, Supernova by Cosmosis. Ooh, whoa, okay, this is cool. What I do feel like, just as I play this level through, just as the beginning, you know what I mean? It does feel slightly like, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It feels slightly mashed together. And that is mostly because the background has like a lot of detail and the block designs feel kind of thrown together. So it's kind of holding it back from maybe getting a rate for me. Because the colors here are stunning. I really like them. But the gameplay is, first of all, kind of unreadable, and the blocks really blend into the background. The background's the star of the show, which it can work in some ways, but that's usually because the background's really detailed in a swarm of otherwise kind of intuitive block designs. And these ones, the block designs read as simple and kind of underdone rather than just kind of intentionally simple. So I don't think I'm supposed to click those big red orbs. I would have done it the other way around. I would have made the red orbs harder to click and the green ones easier to click because I am accidentally buffering and that's hurting me. Very nice though. Gameplay is a bit hard to read, and I think in a lot of ways, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, once again, the background is so bright that the bright block designs just kind of mash in together with it. I think I just have to click all these orbs, which is a lot for the difficulty of the level. It's such a specific pattern that like, and the level doesn't adequately punish you if you don't click them. You just kind of like float off into empty space. If you're going to add like 6 orbs in a row, you got to have it where the level just like kind of kills you on command if you don't click them like that. Like, you don't know if the gravity's flipped right. You don't know if you clicked all of them, all that stuff. And the transition should at least send you. Dude, what is... Yeah, the gameplay is very orb heavy. And in UFO, that's not really generally accepted. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that, but... Usually you want to have it based off the player's input and not the orbs. Ship, I could see it. Even like robot, I can see it. Cube, it's predominantly used heavy orb gameplay. But yeah, for ship or for UFO, not really. And see, I'm just flipped gravity and had 0 punishment for it. Just kind of ran away with that one. I skipped like 90% of the orbs. So this is an instance where I would definitely say go get a playtester, make sure that your gameplay like actually matches it, because I know the feeling. You know, you create a level and you're like, oh, I know what the player's supposed to do, but you got to remember the player doesn't know what they're supposed to do. A lot of times they literally, by pure accident, exploit the level. Like, see, right now I'm skipping all the orbs because that's the easiest thing to do. If it's an easier route than the intended one, you got to make sure it's patched. You simply do. And I've fallen through the level for a long time, which gets you really far in terms of percentage. Having a moving spike down there would mean that you wouldn't fall for so long, which is considered a QOL improvement for the player. This is nice, this last part here. I like the idea of like a broken star since it's supernova. Maybe have an... Okay, I was going to say if it breaks at the end, that's a great idea. Not sure about the whole situation, though, with the unreadable gameplay and the fact that it renders as very bright on an otherwise also bright background, which means it lacks a lot of contrast. Just making sure that everybody's just coming through right. It looks like one request didn't come through, so I'm just going to go ahead and play that one. That one was Mr. Canada A1926's request again. This one's auto. Apparently it's 34 seconds long. I'm going to give a little feedback on that. If you find any bugs in this level, tell me. A little bit harsh to kill the person just off of clicking it. And it does feel like a bit more of a showcase of auto rather than like it doing something. Auto levels, again, the bar is so high at this point that you really have to make it where the player is like doing something completely unique. Because a lot of this is just like heavy orb usage and stuff. And the fact that it says and then rate auto and stuff like that comes off just slightly unprofessional. And yeah, it definitely could be more decorated and like kind of always, you know what I mean? But yeah, cool idea. I think everybody's done it several times, right? It's an auto level. I want to try an auto level first. It's a fundamental step of learning how to create, you know, pushing the boundaries, trying something new and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that the place where you could grow would be adding a bit more uniqueness, decoration, and complexity to the level. Okay, next on tap. Supernova by Cosmosis. Oh, I already played this one. I just didn't delete it. My fault, my fault. Okay, this one, though. Ultimate. By U003A. Okay, it's like stalemate. It looks like there's a little bit of spam in the beginning. Good use of player 1 decorations, though. That's nice. Okay, what? Okay, so it's tight click in general. 3 triple spikes, unless it's a specific gimmick, which it doesn't really seem to be listed as one here. It's a little bit redundant in a lot of ways and feels quite loopy. And we're clicking through. There is some good background going on. I can't lie. I do wish that there was a bit more going on, just in terms of level. I get the idea of, oh, you know, I'm going to limit it to 1.0 decoration and all that stuff, but it does feel kind of underdone. And then the variation in the block designs is throwing me for a bit of a loop. Obviously, if you're making a different part, then you do want to vary your block designs. But in the same part, if there's just one different block design, it makes it read as unfinished and unprofessional. We are through, though, with the straight fly. Again, triple spikes. It seems to be a bit of an overused strategy to increase difficulty, especially in this level. Probably taking after grief. Okay, so I can't jump over a triple spike. Apparently my skill has gone so severely down the drain. Okay, so just a bunch of spam here. Not sure how I feel about that since there's already spam utilized as a strategy to increase difficulty. Usually you want to vary it a little bit, show your inventiveness and creativity. Some invisible blocks, though, is kind of nice. The most famous instance of that would obviously be the Nightmare. And it does end a bit abruptly, too. And yeah, that's it. Ultimate. It does feel quite like a start instead of maybe necessarily a finish. And I think that stems from the fact that the block designs don't really have a common theme to them. And, you know, the complexity level falls off, especially in the second half. At the beginning, it feels pretty nice. There's some backgrounds. The block designs do have some depth, stuff like that. But then at the end, the utilization of triple spikes, spam, and a bunch of different kind of decoration concepts makes it feel a bit hairy and, in general, incoherent. Got a few more rolling in right now. I just sent one level. Why is there another one? It was sent in the form. I'm not sure. Nightbot failed to connect. I don't know. That happened one time, and I have no idea why. But yeah, my part is second to last. I've been trying to get back into art, so some feedback would be great, even though it's pretty old. Yeah, let's just play it. Let's just see what's up. And obviously, it's already rated, so I can't say, oh, I think this would be star rated, featured, all that stuff. But okay, a little moon to start with. Opening scene. See, this is really nice. This kind of atmospheric level. I wish that there was more of this stuff. I always enjoy it when I can play a level, kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the feel of it. And then it goes to day. Okay. This feels a bit more intense to me. And here, just in my opinion, the art does feel a bit scratchy. When I say that, I mean that it feels like it just lacks a little bit of polishing. Oh, and I've fallen out. Okay. That's a high gravity or fast swing. I don't know what. I thought it was going to be a lot slower than that. I mean, in general, though, it's pretty nice. And I think the first part, if the first part had retained that quality, it could be looking at like an epic rating. These do feel slightly underpolished, so we'll see if the next part's really solidified as a feature, if it was kind of a contested feature. Because sometimes when you go to send or, you know, give advice for what a level should be rated, it's really close, and you just have to make your best guess. That's a real thing, right? It's on the fringe. But this one right now would feel like a star rate for me. Good use of like a little indicator there to show the player where the player was going to fall, though. That I really appreciate as a player. And it does show, hey, you know, they actually play tested this. Boom. Okay. Because this is the part that they were talking about, it looks like, at least based off the branding of the part. In general, it looks pretty good, as is. The camera zoom is throwing me off just a little bit. Feels slightly immature compared to the rest of the level being very zoomed out. You got to think about context of the level. Don't like that rock can kill you because it feels very smooth, and you got to indicate with these like natural themed levels based off smoothness, like what should kill you. I get the idea that, you know, there are little spikes and stuff, but they don't directly impact the player. They should have like fringes, like rocks and stuff. Very nice with the rocks having like a nice gradient to them. That's a really efficient way to save a lot of objects. And see how the end screen is. Exactly what I would expect it to be, entirely honest with you. It's a nice floating thing. You got a good screen going on, and it kind of celebrates everybody who's worked hard to make this level happen, which is very nice. I do appreciate that. I don't know why I said XL. It's only 1 minute and 34 seconds long, but yeah, I actually do enjoy it. So way to go. It's good overall. And that's why it got a feature, because it feels very polished. I think the parts could blend together maybe a little bit better, especially with the first part being a night part and then it transitioning right into day. But definitely good stuff. And this was probably his 8th or his 4th rated level if they were all features, and assuming that it was his most recent. It got exactly 2 cents, and it was rated 6 months ago. Okay. It's actually been a while. Anyway, yeah, pretty cool. Okay, this one is called Project Mashup by Crystic GMD. All my unfinished projects made this 2024. Making this level made me go back and reconsider finishing some of them. So this is like a bunch of unfinished levels then, and it's going to merge them together. Again, start position, not a great idea to leave that in, but that should be an easy fix. Ready? Okay, so I guess I have to click it. This is cool, though. I think this is done by an area move, but it keeps everything kind of floating. Almost makes me feel like this could get rated. I don't know. Oh. What's happening? Oh, you just have to sit. Turning off player inputs would fix that issue. Good to see you guys all in GLOBED enjoying it. The parallax does feel slightly underdone here, but cool overall. Perhaps making a better transition would be appreciated too. I notice, at least when I play Crystic's levels through in general, what's super cool about them is that there's always a gimmick, right? Okay, so this part, obviously finishing it would be nice, adding some sort of decoration. The first 3 had that, but otherwise, yeah. Okay, you can jump. Very nice. And then this part, what shines for me, I feel like, is the coherence. The block signs have a little bit of detail in them, and that makes them kind of stand out, along with the background, but it does feel very odd in terms of color contrast. I keep going. But yeah, I think that what is here is actually pretty nice. It's obviously really tricky to justify taking a level that has a bunch of unfinished levels and making that rated. But what can obviously be done is that there's a massive opportunity in front of any creator who has, what, 6 unfinished levels now? And this is only from this 2024, it says, which probably means that there are more in the pipeline. Taking any one of those and finishing them is really important. Okay, so this one's XL, and yeah, unfortunately, I do have to then skip these. Okay, this one I can play, though. This is Promise by GMDS Jose. No description provided, which is a little bit odd, but that's all right. Okay, so it looks like glow was used here instead of a gradient. That's an immediate, creating tip. You should always be using gradient, because see, the glow cuts out at some point, and it means that it looks kind of unprofessional. And just a reminder for everybody in chat, make sure you're not submitting your levels via chat, but instead submitting through the form. The idea of lava is nice, though. It feels like kind of like magma in some ways, but the glow, it's got to be fixed. It really just has to be fixed. It just simply does. There's no working around that. Everything is way too far scaled up, and that's not an issue with my computer. It's just an issue with the game. It doesn't read super scaled objects. Okay, scale it up. Again, the glow's just chopping. Like, I can't look past that, right? It just feels so unprofessional to have glow that's so scaled up. What you're looking for is a gradient trigger. 100%, that's what it is. I'm going to break into the editor for just a second to show how to do this, because I know exactly what you're trying to do. I worked for so long on trying to make scaled up glow, and I finally resigned to using gradient. Like, see, I can't even select it, which is... Okay, so first of all, it's all built on layer 0, which is kind of a red flag. It should be built on multiple layers. I'm going to be releasing something in the future about how to layer correctly. But essentially, what you'll have to do here is you'll have to take the gradient trigger and then slide it, I guess, 90 degrees. And then what you'll do is you'll take something that copies the background, copy color, BG, and then you'll do, I would do just personally another one that, copy color BG, and then turn the hue probably this way, I think is what the idea was. And then what that does is it does the exact same thing. You can play around with it and you can work it so that it fits your level, but that's exactly what you're supposed to do to prevent it from being kind of misscaled. And then as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, we are also out of... Oh, we're not out of requests. My fault. There is one right there. STM3FR3 is going to be our next request here. By ATPX8. Okay, immediately a nice like modern design going on, I would say. What do I wish immediately? Background. There has to be a background. There's no working around it. Let's not beat around the bush. There has to be a background. What do I do here, though? Huh? Oh, wait. Are you supposed to hit something? Any idea what I'm doing? Oh, there's a video. I'm going to take a quick look at what they do to break through it. Well, it conveniently... No, it doesn't. Oh, it's like such a late input. I am personally incapable of beating a level, you know, of this kind of gameplay complexity. So my best bet is going to be to go ahead and break into the editor. There's a little bit of a lack of trigger work here. I get the idea of a static level, but there's some more movements here, which is nice. Bring those movements into the first part would be good. There also needs to be a theme change. Even in a 30-second level, a theme really shouldn't drag on for 30 seconds. 15 at max, usually for these modern levels. And then switch it up a little bit. You know, obviously this theme kind of coexists with the main one, but adding a different block design, saws, stuff like that. All the saws are scaled the same. The block design is just built off one thing. And I do appreciate the idea that most of these kind of blocks are pointing in the same direction, but there's a few that don't really. And that's a little bit frustrating as a creator to see, because it just means that a lot of stuff was copy and pasted. So going back, revising that could be good. But overall, consistency reaches a point where it becomes repetitive. And it's all about, when you're creating a level, striking the balance between overdone and over repeated and consistent enough that the player can grab a theme. This is nice though, very simplistic. My first level though. Apparently this is this guy's first level. It's supposed to be a top 500. I can see that. But yeah, pretty nice start, especially just for creating. Changed processing. Okay, so it looks like this is just going to be a revision of blast processing. I'm probably not going to play this one all the way through, to be entirely honest with you, because the gimmick's been done just so many times. and it just looks like it is just blast processing all over again. I know I mentioned in a few streams, but in this era of GD, you can't just do a makeover of another level. It just doesn't get rated, doesn't get any attention anymore, and it's overall not a good way to develop as a creator. So I think I'm supposed to jump off that. Yeah. So this is the wave part, and it's been heavily modified to try to match a cube's gameplay, which I don't enjoy personally. I feel like blast processing was made to be the gameplay that it is, and modifying it means that, yeah, it just doesn't read like it should. So I am going to go ahead after this part and just call it. I'm not a huge fan of spending a bunch of time on these levels just because I've done them so many times. Yeah. So obviously it is blast processing, and the only thing that's changed about it is different game modes. If you're going to do a level that's based off of blast processing or something like that, it has to be so different, and it has to just essentially be a complete makeover. The gameplay probably can't be incredibly similar. Your best bet, if you want to do something that's similar to blast processing, is going ahead and making a decoratively styled blast processing like level. What that could be would be same song and different gameplay, and then going ahead and incorporating that with the blast processing decoration style, because it's very, very, very hard to justify rating a level that's just blast processing with something changed in it. So with that, once again, the queue is empty. It looks like. I submitted. If you submitted your level and it's not showing up, most likely cause would just be that you're typing something in wrong, or I've already played it, stuff like that. What if I can't open the link? You should be able to. If you're on vertical chat and you can't open it, you'll have to type it just into your browser of choice, and then that'll work. But as of now, just since I don't have any levels in queue, I'm going to go ahead and just play through some of the most recent rated levels. And then in just a second, I'll do another quick form refresh just for these last 10 minutes here. Radiant Beam. This one looks cool. By Quablu. Whoa, okay. This is an example of a shader that adds a ton of depth to the level. It doesn't feel overbearing in any way, but what it does do for you is it fills some otherwise empty space. It makes it look like an old TV screen. Yeah, I really dig the energy in this one. It's very cool. And then obviously the inverted shader is adding a ton of dimension to it, which I'm a huge fan of. I don't even want to even think about the complexity of those shaders, because I haven't really honestly gone into depth about shaders on my channel, and I really haven't explored them a ton myself. So that's something that's kind of on my checklist to improve on. But no, the effects here are really nice. Honestly, in a lot of ways, that opening part felt epic worthy. Same for this one. I'm kind of surprised. I kind of got snubbed of an epic. It's really cool though. I need to explore this style more. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm a huge fan of it. The sync is also quite nice. And then the playtesters. That's another thing. A lot of people whose levels I complain about are being uneasy to read and stuff like that. Usually the issue comes down to playtesting, because when you play a level through and you create it, you're expecting things and you're like, oh yeah, I know that I'm supposed to click here and stuff like that, but other players don't, and a lot of times that's how they get through and they cheat the level. With that being said, we actually have a few submissions rolling in now, so I'm going to go ahead and get to those. Change processing. Oh, didn't type in the ID. That'd do it. Goldfinch Glade by VegTam. Last chance for Duality Gauntlet contest. 3 days remain until the results. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh. Okay, so it kills you on the start. It's a lag machine, I'm not gonna lie, but I know these art levels, just like 100%, are super detailed. And I'm running a stream right now, so of course it's gonna be just a little bit laggy, but that's fine. I'm not here to whine about that. I'm here to judge the level. So right now, just from the start, I'm like, okay, unless anything like is actually terribly wrong with the level, it's gonna be at least like epic worthy. Now I'm looking for a higher bar, right? I'm looking to reach like legendary or even mythic. And it's a little bit hard to read all the details and stuff like that when the level is so laggy for me, just especially on stream, but oh, it's cool. 100%. It's actually at least legendary worthy for me right now. Now I'm looking for a mythic. It's winning me over very slowly just based off the intensity and general like matching art styles. And I know I don't like let it on a lot because I'm trying to judge the level while I'm playing, so I'm very focused, but I really do dig this like just visual approach a lot. VegTam does such a great job just in general. They are a very prominent creator, but they've kind of earned it in a lot of ways for me because they have such great managing of complex styles, and it generally reads pretty easy. I'm just losing a lot because my clicks are like 5 seconds delayed. Syncs very well too. For all of you guys playing on GLOBED, you should know that. This is great for duality though. It really does feel like two things in one at this part. And it is pretty easy, actually, believe it or not. The fact that I'm able to beat it even with like 2 frames per sometimes. 2 frames per business days, whatever. Great sign. Okay, and this is GG apparently. Not sure why that's so quick. But apparently it is. Golden Glade. There it is. Yeah. I think I don't have a lot of complaints about the level. It's pretty easy to understand. It's clear. And it's beautiful. There are effects. There's just exciting things. And as I look for in a legendary and even reaching up towards a mythic level, what you want to be looking for is examples of the style. You want to be looking for something that like nobody else has done. And the reason why it's not quite mythic for me is because it does feel like everything's just done masterfully, but there isn't something that like when I play it through, I'm like, this is groundbreaking. This has never been done before. LDM is only 45,000 objects, so it's a great drop. It would be a legendary for me though. Very close. Okay, next up by Wyoming. Lots of G's at the end there. Move like this. Sorry. Very fun, but bad transitions. Okay, I'll take it into account as I play through this. Oh. Immediately, it's got like a little like bouncy feel to it, which I quite enjoy. And the click sync is very nice. The contrast could be slightly better. Okay, so there's the transition. It's not terrible. It's not like immediately when I play it through, I'm like, why is this transition here? You know what I mean? But it could be maybe improved a little bit, and that's where playtesters could come in. But I don't feel like it's terrible innately. Definitely not enough to like render like an angry comment. We'll see if the other ones are bad or something. This felt just a little bit empty, but okay, this transition's not bad. It's just a fast part of a level. I just kind of wasn't oriented for it. This is fun, though. It almost does feel like a DKIT level to me, which is not a complaint. It does feel like a little bit like innovating off of it. and kind of mashing several modern styles together, which is exactly how new styles come about, by the way. It's fun. I do enjoy it. Let's see how the end screen is. That end screen and the last part do feel very much like they're taken from DKID, which I know he pilots his own style and stuff like that, and people build off of it. But it's crucial. It's very, very, very important to make sure you're innovating and doing new things. So for me, how I would know that would be adding some, maybe integrating some more other parts of modern. That could be different opacities for like background and more layers, stuff like that. And I get his style is very easy to emulate and it's fun to emulate because you can build a lot of different levels and stuff like that. But no, definitely the next step would be to kind of divert from the beaten path there. Next on tap, we have Sploink by Master Callahan. Unfortunately, this one is 20 seconds long. And yeah, I do have to skip it. I only play levels through that are 30 seconds long. This one is called Radioactually Ive. Okay. The gameplay is like Insane Demon, but it's supposed to be super long, but the gameplay isn't finished. Have fun. Unfortunately, if it's an unfinished level, I do have to skip it. That's just a rule, just in order to keep everything fair. I think this one I haven't played. I'm not sure. Okay, that one's unfinished. Thank you for the feedback, bro. Yeah, anytime. This is why I'm doing that. Now, this one I can play through, I believe. This one is called Subscribe. Okay, this one's also 23 seconds long, so make sure that we are submitting levels that are over 30 seconds long. For now, though, I am going to go ahead and just break into these levels again. This one looks fun, Mil Rosas. Yeah, it's a very soft modern. It kind of like, I don't want to say it puts you to sleep because it makes it sound like it's boring, but really relaxing, which I quite enjoy. I'm actually playing this one through in normal mode because the gameplay seems very generous and easygoing. This part's very cool. It feels like a well-developed modern. We got a little drum roll going with the blue pads. Good job using no effect there. That's really important. Okay. Now I'm just bad at the game. Why did you skip me? Levels have to be over 30 seconds long. That's just a rule of the form. It's nothing against you, nothing personal at all. You can totally resubmit once the level's over 30 seconds long. Some nice effects as well. That's kind of cool. Okay, very nice, very nice. No, I really enjoy this overall. Cool. It feels very complete. There are even rated levels out there that kind of feel like incomplete and like they haven't reached their full potential, but this one feels like it's really developed, which I do enjoy. And the reason why I only got it featured is because of the simplicity. There's not a ton of effects, there's not a ton of stuff in your face, but it's really cool. And then you have a nice end screen too. And I got 2 silver coins. Yay. No, I actually really enjoy that. There are my thoughts. So that being said, I don't have any submissions right now that are waiting. Usually I'd play my last request at 9 o'clock, but since there's none just kind of sitting here, that means I will go ahead and call it a night for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. It's always just really fun to do these. I really enjoy them, and yeah, I'm very glad that I was able to be here. I will be streaming again on Saturday at 9 Eastern. We're probably gonna be trying something new. I usually like to mix up the theming every so often, just to keep it interesting for you guys and play around with that. So with that being said, I am gonna sign off for the night. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I'll catch you guys later. See ya.